This is Bryce Van Patten with Metal Express Radio Backstage, and my guest today is vocalist of the Canadian metal band Stryker out of Edmonton, Alberta. The band won Metal Album of the Year at the 2020 Juno Awards and has just released a new single titled Strangelove. My guest today, Dan Cleary from Stryker. How are you doing today, Dan?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
Great. Awesome day. If I'd never heard of Stryker before, can you give me your elevator pitch on what the band sounds like?
Usually I say, we're kind of like a little bit like Iron Maiden. Like if I was telling someone on the street, I'd say, we're like more of a modern Iron Maiden, I guess. But lately it's been a little bit harder to sort of nail down exactly what our band is like. We're just like a heavy metal band, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed in some of the promo that it says you blend classic heavy metal, hard rock, and 80s hair metal.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about what influences you had and what makes a Stryker song?
For influences they're kind of all over the place, especially these days. But our early influences were, like bands like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, sort of all those classic metal influences. And then I also personally have a deep love for 80s hair metal, I guess 80s and early 90s hair metal. So end up mixing a lot of that into our music as well. And then, and then we also like some more modern bands too. Like lately we've been getting into some more heavy stuff, but not much of that actually ends up in our music, but maybe slowly that's creeping in there.
Cool. So I understand you guys were in Portland about a week ago, Portland, Oregon?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah, you guys were, I think, playing at the Hawthorne Theater, and I only found out about it a couple days before. Otherwise, I would have definitely loved to check you guys out. How did the show go there?
It was great. This whole tour has been lots of fun. Crowds have been really good. We've been opening the show, and then Seven Kingdoms, and then Beast in Black. The crowds have been like surprisingly quick to catch on. Like it's been sort of 0 to 100 super quick. So it's been really nice to see for us.
Awesome. So how does it feel to be able to tour again after the long lockdown due to the pandemic?
It's great, although we're all pretty tired. It's sort of like something you have to readjust to, because like long drives and bad sleeps and stuff like that. But the upside is pretty huge. It's been so much fun to be back out playing shows and not having to worry about cancellations and things like that. I mean, there is a little bit of that still at the start of this tour. The Beast in Black singer had to wait like an extra 5 days of quarantine time or something like that to because he tested positive for COVID, like just right before coming. So it's still affecting us a little bit, but
Okay. So far, what's the craziest thing or the coolest thing that's happened on this tour for you?
Craziest thing that's happened on this tour,
or coolest?
Honestly, or coolest. I got to say, just like the shows have been so great. To be honest, we haven't been able to do much outside of just like driving and getting into the show, playing, and then floating out, driving to the next place, and all that stuff. The craziest thing I think that has happened to us on this tour was at the start of the tour, our trailer tire, like the axle sheared off while we were driving, and
you're kidding.
Flew to the other side of the highway, and we skidded into the shoulder there, and luckily it wasn't too bad. We got out of it pretty quick. Like we had to rent a new trailer and stuff, but so yeah, we had our broken down trailers with someone out in North Dakota somewhere.
So did you guys get a new trailer, or did you get it repaired right there, or how did that work?
Yeah, so that trailer was like a little bit older, and I guess it wasn't that old, but maybe it was in bad shape. I don't know. We had problems with it before, but we thought we had it fixed, and then the axle just snapped on it. So what happened was we ended up having to like get a U-Haul trailer, and then the guy who towed the trailer from where we were on the highway to the U-Haul place, we just told him like, hey, do you want this trailer? Because we don't have time to like wait around. Like we would have lost too many days and had to miss some shows.
Right.
So we were just like, oh, just get rid of it. Like whatever. It was like relatively cheap trailer, so it wasn't a big deal. But
Right.
that guy was stoked. Yeah, the guy was stoked. He was like, "Oh, sweet! I get like a free trailer. I just need to change the axle on it or whatever." So it worked out.
Well, sweet for him, but you guys found a workaround, right?
Yeah, honestly, it's every tour. There's something wacky like that happens. So we're so used to it now. It's just like as soon as the wheel flew off, we're like on the phone to you all and getting the trailer towed and everything like this. So it only took about 2.5 hours to get back on the road. So it was pretty quick.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Where did that happen at?
That was somewhere in North Dakota. Can't remember exactly where. Yeah, almost in the middle of nowhere. But
I was going to say, North Dakota. Yeah. It sounds like you're pretty lucky to have got back on the road so quick.
Yeah, like we were lucky. We broke down on like a straightaway on the highway. We weren't like going around a turn or anything crazy. So all things considered, we were like pretty lucky. But yeah.
Okay, well, I have one other question regarding the pandemic, and how has that affected you as a musician, and how did it impact the band over the last year and a half?
Well, it's been pretty crazy. Like we were doing okay at the start of the pandemic because we had just before it started, we had gone into the studio and recorded our Alive in the Studio album that we did, and our plan with that was just to have something released like in between albums. So we were just putting the videos out on YouTube and stuff. And that worked out really well for us because we finished it and then COVID happened and we're like, well, everybody's doing these virtual concerts and stuff like that, live streaming events, things like that. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, well, we kind of already have that, but it's like we did it in the studio and stuff. So we just released that. So that kept us busy for a while, just releasing that. But eventually in like early 2021, we were like pretty burnt out and everybody was feeling it pretty hard. So we eventually did like a play on that with Death Wish because it was like, man, the band almost fell apart. And we kind of like did that thing where we posted a tombstone and then didn't say anything about it. And people freaked out a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Like, no, it's just a new song. Don't worry, it's just a new song. But
you guys have 6 studio albums, and 2018's Play to Win received the Juno Award for Best Album. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that Juno Awards, for people who don't know, it's sort of like a Canadian Grammy, I guess. It's obviously not the same scale, but it's the Canadian version. And we were lucky enough to receive that. We had been nominated for a previous album in the past, and this time we won. It would have been fun to go to that. Like it was during COVID, so we didn't actually get to go to the the ceremony or whatever they do. But anyways, it's a pretty big honor for us, so we're super stoked about it.
Very cool. I was going to say that the band has had some recent lineup changes. Can you talk a little bit about that and what the new members bring to the table?
Yeah, so we got a couple of guys who've been it seems like they're fresh faces, but they've actually been in the band for like quite a while. Like, for example, our new air quotes, new drummer, Jono, he actually has been in the band for almost 2.5 years. Because of the pandemic, before this tour, he had only played like 2 or 3 shows with us.
Right.
And so, yeah, it seems like from the fan perspective, it's like, who's, that's the new guy. But for us, we're like, he's been in the band like super, like for 2.5 years. It's not really
right.
But we do have a new guitar player, Simon, who was previously in the band, and then Chris, our original guitar player, came back, and then he got a great job offer and had to step away from the band. So Simon we were lucky enough to have him available to come and shred for us.
Yeah, that seems really like a fortunate thing for to have one of your other guys that was already there come back.
Yeah, so it was an easy transition for us. So that was nice.
Awesome. So you guys just released the single "Strange Love" with a video. Can you talk a little bit about that? And the follow-up is, when do you think we'll have a new Stryker album?
Yeah, so that song, we recorded that. That was part of 3 songs that we recorded in early 2021, and we've just kind of been sitting on for a long time. We weren't sure exactly when to release them, how to release them, because we were, with the pandemic, we were like, well, I mean, half the time, technically, we weren't allowed to go to the studio to record and stuff.
Right.
So we ended up just recording 3 singles that we just wanted. That came out in October.
Mm-hmm.
We just released Strange Love. And we do have one more on the way before we actually buckle down and finish our writing for the new album. But yeah, Strange Love, it's an interesting song. At the time, we were listening to a lot of like Toto type stuff. So we added some like bongos and stuff in there because we were just like, that might be cool. And we tried it out and we liked it. So I imagine we'll be releasing an album probably next year at some point.
Awesome. So what else does 2022 have in store for Stryker?
Well, we just got announced for Wacken this summer, which will be wild, I'm assuming. And we were actually booked in 2020 for Wacken, but obviously it got canceled just like everything else. So
right.
But we were really, we were nervous. We weren't sure like if we'd get rebooked because it's hard to know how that stuff works. But just so we have a European tour ending in a show at Wacken, which we're super excited about.
That sounds amazing. I had a quick question. If you guys were able to go on tour with anybody, who would be like the perfect band to tour with to further, to get to your crowd? I'm talking like dream band,
Dream band? Yeah, we'd probably pick Iron Maiden, I think. That would be the one, I think. Yeah, it's either them or Metallica. We played with Metallica in 2011, like really early on. There was like a radio competition, like a chance to play with Metallica type thing. So and we ended up winning that, and then opened 2 nights in a row at like the stadium here, in Edmonton, and like it was a crazy experience. It was like so much fun to like be a part of that. That was on there when they were recording that the movie that they did.
Right.
So they were doing like warm-up shows for that movie, and it was just like wild. Like the stage production was enormous, and they were like, "Yeah, you guys can just like get up there and do your thing." And we're like, "Holy shit, it's crazy!" So that was a lot of fun. We got to talk to them a bunch too, and they were really cool guys. So it was great. So we would definitely go on tour with them if they ever wanted it.
Sure, if it could happen. Yeah, that sounds like, that sounds really surreal almost, right?
Yeah, it was like a wild weekend. We were just like, what even just happened to us?
You got to kind of pinch yourself. Am I really here? Right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was a crazy experience. For sure.
Well, I wanted to say that all the guys at the station are really huge fans of Stryker, and Metal Express Radio plays your stuff all the time. So just wanted to let you know that, we love your music and always looking forward to more of it. Was there anything else that we missed that you'd like to say, or anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, or tell us what's coming up, or anything that I might not have asked you yet, Dan?
Yeah, I think we covered most of it. I mean, we're just sort of gearing back up to get out there. So I imagine we're going to have more tour dates announced shortly for whatever's coming next. So just, keep an eye out, and appreciate you guys for playing our stuff so much. And every little bit helps. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and where can we find out more about Stryker? Do you want to give me a shout out, or where to find you guys?
Yeah, we're on basically all social media except for TikTok.
Fair enough.
we haven't cracked that yet. We don't know what's going on there, so maybe we'll figure that out eventually, but we'll see. But yeah, Stryker Metal on pretty much everything, and then Stryker-metal.com is our website.
And that is Stryker with an I.
Yeah, that's an important one. Well, everybody asks. It's with an I, not a Y.
Well, there is another Canadian band with a Y, so.
Yeah.
And that is not you guys, so.
that's not us. Actually, that was funny. Like that band was from Vancouver, and in the early days,
right.
We got booked for a show opening for the band Raven, and we were like, oh yeah, sure, we'll come down for that. It's a long drive for us, so but we were like, whatever, we'll come. And then the guy was like, oh, I thought I was booking the Stryker from Vancouver. He was happy to have us because it was a good fit, but it was
Right.
like, he was like, oh, I didn't even realize. And like, so that was a bit of an issue at the time. But since then, they've changed their name. They're the band's Spell now.
Well, good move on their part because you guys are pretty established, and so looking for more good things to come from you guys. So I did want to thank you, Dan, for joining me. Stryker, check out their newest single, Strange Love, and more coming. And if you get a chance, see these guys on tour. Thanks again, Dan.
All right, thanks, man.